Good morning. Welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, April the 23rd. Alex LaBrunerie is with us from LaBrunerie Financial. Good to have you here, Alex.
Good morning.
Fully vaccinated.
Vaccinated. It's great to be here, and spring's with us. And
Yeah. And things are starting to look up across the country and across the world. More and more people are getting vaccinations. That brings our mental attitude up a bit.
Yes.
How does that transpire with the stock market?
It also not only does it make us more euphoric, it also gets us back to work and gets us opening up our economy, and we're seeing unemployment drop. We're seeing more jobs created, and that was what we had hoped would happen. Once we got vaccinated, and so that hope is now becoming a reality, and so it has some real economic impact for us as Americans.
Now, because of the stimulus that has been put out in the economy, inflation is also picking up a little bit. Is that
right.
good or is that bad?
Well, if it's generally seen as a healthy dose of inflation is seen as good, because the opposite of inflation is deflation or falling prices, and that doesn't help business. It doesn't help corporations. Inflation, though, is concerning for bond investors.
Yeah.
People
now I'm
in the
looking
bond
at a
market.
chart that you brought here. It looks like inflation at this point is a little bit over 1.5%.
That's correct, and you can see on that chart when COVID hit. You could see a plunge in inflation because there was no more money in the money in the economy. Was drying up.
Right.
Yeah.
But now with the economy growing, they're projecting the inflation to be somewhere around 2.5% by mid-year.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, and this is the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis making this projection. So you can see from the bottom of the early part of 2020, although the projection is to hit almost 2.5% inflation by mid-year 21.
Okay, so what is that going to mean to our everyday living? What is that going to mean to the stock market and the bond market?
So what it's done for the bond markets, and people are seeing this out in the real estate market and in their bond holdings and their financial assets when they get their statements when they got them in March, at the end of March. Bonds have dropped in value because inflation is seen as a big negative for bondholders. So year to date, the bond market generally in our country is down about 3.5%. So a minus 3.5%. So people are selling their bonds and buying stocks.
Okay, but if you have bonds, isn't it pretty much like the stock market? Just because it goes down, you don't want to get rid of them, right?
Yes, I think that's true.
Yes, you want to get rid of them,
you
or
do
no,
not
you don't
want to get rid of them.
Yeah. You want to hang on to them.
You want to hold on to them. You want to be patient because hopefully you've constructed your portfolio in a way that has a balance between bonds, stocks, and other assets.
And they will come back again. When inflation goes down, the bond market will go up.
Yes.
But then what happens when inflation comes down? Does the stock market drop then too? No.
The inflation, the drop in inflation can be helpful for
to the stock market.
Yes.
Okay.
Generally speaking, yes.
But now here's another question for you.
Sure.
Inflation is going up right now, right?
Yes.
But the stock market has been doing great.
Yes.
Why?
Lots of stimulus money coming in. Profits are coming in for the healthy companies. Profits and earnings, which are the final drivers of stock valuations, are looking good. For technology, there is some a lot of speculative fervor around technology right now, but that's hopefully works itself out.
Well, the surge that we're seeing right now, do you feel that is going to stabilize, or do you think it will continue climbing?
I think it will stabilize. Yeah.
And become a little more realistic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you say to people who are going gun-ho right now because things are looking so good? Is that a good idea? Are you...
I think, always, don't throw caution into the wind during a raging bull market. Sit down and make sure your portfolio has the risks that you're comfortable with in it. Sit down with your advisor. Make sure you're doing your homework on your risk levels.
Yeah, don't be impulsive.
Yes.
Don't be impulsive.
Don't be greedy.
And exactly. And you want to look at this for the long run.
That's right.
And the long run, what do you see in your eyes?
So I think 22 starts to look good if we can get back to the pre-COVID levels and we get infrastructure and built. That is seen if we can pull that off as a country. And we did manage to pull off a vaccine in less than a year. So hopefully we can build some roads and broadband into needed areas, all those infrastructure
and
plans.
The more of that is done, the better it is for the economy.
That's better it is for the economy. The more, if you could, for instance, in the rural areas, if we could get the digital economy to rural America and to urban America, that just opens up more job opportunities for young people.
Yeah, and because in the rural areas, it's really underserved by the internet as far as
very
true
underserved.
broadband.
Yes, so you can't hire people there. They can't work remotely as aggressively as someone in Seattle. So we want to be competitive everywhere in the U.S.
Okay, we're just about out of time, but as one thing in general, what do people, or what is your opinion, should people be doing right now?
Continue to be patient with the bond market, which we don't fret too much about inflation. I think there'll be a lot of, hopefully it subsides by the end of the year once the stimulus money is digested into the economy.
Yeah, and continue to save.
And always continue to save.
Put a little bit away.
Yes.
Put a little bit away, and over the years that mounts up. Our golden years come a lot faster than you think when you're young.
Yes, they do.
They really do. If you want more information, Alex would be happy to chat with you. Any of the nice people over at LaBrunerie Financial, how do they get in touch with you?
Paul. We're at in Columbia at 449-5313 or labrunerie.com on the internet.
Okay, labrunerie.com. Alex, it's always a pleasure visiting with you. Thank you so much for coming by. Okay? And I'm glad you've had your vaccination. When you're out and about today, make sure you wear your mask, but smile underneath, okay? We'll see you tomorrow. Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu.